Hey guys, how's it going today? So my name is PO17 or P017, whichever you prefer to call me. And I wanted to bring you this awesome video today just to show you the Toshiba 14AF42. So, let me go ahead and brighten the screen just to show you the full TV right here. So if you watched my previous video, you'll know that I worked on the 14AF43, and if you watched my preview short video, you might have noticed this was one of the 3 TVs that I've been servicing. So this TV in particular is another one that I've been servicing from another person, and I've had a pretty fun time with it. So this one in particular didn't need too much to do, especially compared to the last TV that I had to do. But overall, when it comes to the image quality and everything like that, especially compared to the 14AF43, I found that they're actually quite similar to each other, which is really awesome because the 14AF43 is a really nice set. Now, in terms of it being an Orion set, so this is the same thing, it is an Orion set, not a true Toshiba, but that doesn't really take away from the fact that it is a solid TV. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get a little bit in depth in terms of its features and everything like that. So this is going to be for, if you didn't watch the previous video, this, in terms of the features and everything, are very identical to the 14AF43. So in front here, you have your power, your channel up and down, your volume up and down, as well as your composite input, for video 3, as well as a headphone jack. Now, one difference you will know compared to the 14AF43 is this does have an all-silver construction rather than a silver and black construction. And if we go along the side here, there's not too much to go off of, but this does have stereo speakers as well. So this is a pretty cool little 14-inch set with stereo speakers. It's awesome. It's just got so many features loaded into this set. But we'll go ahead and go to the back here just to show off this model number and everything. So this one in particular was made in 2002 of February. And right here shows you your model number, the 14AF42. Now looking down below here, this is where you'll find your inputs. So this is your RF input, which this does have an adapter right now to run an RCA jack into for Atari and whatnot. So it does look like a standard RF jack, just has that on it. But this does have S-Video as well as component, more composite inputs as well. And of course down here, this is a composite out input, which is really awesome for game capture and whatnot. So, go back to the front of the screen here. I want to show you a little bit of the image as well and how good this image quality is on this set. So, if I can stop the thing from strobing, I can show you how this looks. But overall, this set didn't really need that much adjusting, as I mentioned earlier. So the only things I really did to this was just basically convergence, honestly. I didn't have to do very much else. The linearity on the set is fantastic for a flat TV. So typically speaking, flat CRTs do have issues with linearity. So they'll have a little bit of scrolling issues. So you'll notice like some stretching or some shrinking of the size on either corners for horizontal or vertical. But this one doesn't really have that, which is pretty awesome. It's actually quite linear all the way through. Now in terms of its geometry and convergence overall, really solid geometry on this particular set. Your mileage may vary depending on the use of the set. So for example, if your TV is a little bit more worn, it may be a little bit more out of spec. And I'll get into that in a little bit later on why this matters. But the convergence on this set is also fantastic. So usually these flat TVs do have a little bit of corner convergence issues. This one in particular didn't have that much corner convergence issues, which is really nice. Now, of course, this does attribute to the fact that this is a 14-inch set, so it is small, but overall, with flat TVs, nailing in corner convergence can be really tricky. So this is already very well set, which is awesome. Now, there is one other thing that I do want to show. So as you can see here, I have Super Mario All-Stars running in 240p, but let me switch over to a different game, and I'll show you something pretty cool about it. Alright, so as you can see here, what I have running in front of me now is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker for the GameCube, which is really awesome. So, in my previous video, I had forgotten to show a 480i image, and that's something that I want to iterate on a little bit, because this TV, and of course the previous TV, the 14AF43 being so similar to this one, runs 240p and 480i really well. So this is an awesome set for those types of games. You get a lot of detail still left in the image, even with the interlacing, but you don't see that interlacing very much at all, so you get a very, very smooth image rather than a very jittery image. And that's something that's very important, especially to myself, because I don't like jittery images. So you know, might have a little bit of a different preference for it, but overall the set is just fantastic. And here, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this title here, just to show you how nice it looks. So overall, really, really, really cool. I love this set. It's fantastic in terms of its image quality and everything like that. There's one other thing I do want to show you here as well, so I'll go ahead and show you this. So here is the remote that I use. So if you might have watched the previous video, this is the same remote that I used for the A4 III. Make sure this is set to TV if you have this option. But the remote, or sorry, not the remote, but the menu here is the exact same. Oh, well, let me see if I can't fix that. There we go. So the menu is the exact same menu setup as the 14AF4 III. So exact same everything: contrast, brightness, color, tint, sharpness. Same things here for audio, for setup, and for options. So there's no difference there. There is also no difference when it comes to setting up the service menu on this TV. So I'll go ahead and show it to you here, actually. What you want to do, of course, is you want to have your remote. You want to hold the volume down on the set until it reaches 0. Now, you want to keep holding the volume button down, and you want to hold 9 on the remote. Now, once you do that, your service menu will pop up, and it'll look like this. Of course, your service menu on this set compared to your 14AF4 III is going to be very identical, but there are a couple tiny differences. It gives you your horizontal position. Horizontal size still does not work, so that's another thing between the 14AF4 II and 14AF4 III that are the same. Vertical size, vertical centering, vertical linearity, correction. This is actually mislabeled. This is not green drive. This is red drive. This is blue drive, and then of course you have your biases for red, blue, and green, or sorry, red, green, and blue, otherwise known as cutoffs for those who use Sony TVs. You have a couple brightness, subcontrast, contrast. These are like centering, as well as your max and your minimum contrast. So, for example, if you change these ones, you will change the slider, kind of like how much it'll affect in the main menu. So I don't advise changing any of these. You have your tint here, same thing. If you change your tint on this, it will affect how you change your tint in the main menu. Sharpness, same thing. RGB, I don't exactly know what this is, but I just left it as is. Parabola, trapezium, these don't work as well. So same thing on the 14AF4 III, they just don't work. And then you have a whole bunch of other settings that I just never messed with because I don't care about them. But overall, once you're done, all you hit is the menu button right here in the middle of the remote, and that makes it go away. So overall, very easy to work on and work with, especially if you're doing adjustments. So I suggest that this set in particular is a really, really, really good set for people who are just trying to get into learning how to adjust a TV with the basics for the most part. So it's a very easy set to operate, really awesome. If you did see my previous video when I looked internally, the internals of this 14AF4 II are a little bit different compared to the 14AF4 III, but in theory they do the exact same thing. They display an image. So when it comes to that, comes to convergence work, anything like that, it's basically the same thing. So overall, you're going to have a really nice picture regardless of which one you get. So this one in particular, I love. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it, honestly, for this set. Like, it's a really great TV. There's nothing too much more to say about that, other than the fact that if you see one and you see it for a good price, pick it up because it is awesome. So if you like this video, please leave a like on this video. Tell me if you have one of these TVs or if you have one of its brothers. Let me know what you think about it and kind of what your opinions are on this set, because I'm really curious. I don't really get to play with Orion sets very much, or Orion Toshibas for that matter, so having this experience is really, really nice. So anyways, besides that, I'll see you all in the next video.